And welcome, everyone, to Magic Insiders. We are presented by International Diamond Center. Dante Marcatelli and Jake Chapman here with you. The Magic victorious last night, Jake. We've got a lot to get to. This is a happy Magic Insiders live stream. And we're very thankful to all of you who are joining us on the Orlando Magic YouTube channel. And for those that are listening online, sorry, I got my live show. So we're still working through some of the tech. So I started the show, and then 10 seconds later, I heard myself opening the show. So that's where we're at. So that is always a problem. But anyway, we got that sorted out. So we're back at it. And I see the messages coming in, and I got so many questions, Jake. There's so much to get to. Unlikely Jellyfish is back. Luis Rosario is here. Will Dawson is here. Great to have those guys back. And they're all asking about tech issues. Do we have the tech issues figured out here this weekend? I think we do, Jake. I think we have a good plan. And I feel good about this show, not only from a tech standpoint, but after the Magic's win last night, 121-113 over Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. That was a special night last night. You survived 34 points from Steph Curry, 33 points from Jimmy Butler. You get 23 from Desmond Bane, and you get 21 from Anthony Black, who had some highlight reel material last night. What a win at Kia Center last night, Jake.
Yeah, we had trouble streaming last week when we all were in one place, so we figured let's make Dewberry's job harder on him. Dante and I want to stay in our comfort zone this week. No, it was. I think we're good. We appreciate everybody for locking in. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to read the comments coming in. Do I do it on my phone? Do I do it on my laptop? But I think we're good to go. I think we're rolling, and it feels like the Magic are rolling right now as well. Yeah, you dropped that game in Houston on Sunday, but that's a really good team, and you were undermanned. Yep. You got Jalen Suggs back last night. I think you see how important Jalen Suggs is. They're just a different team on both ends of the floor when Jalen's out there. He brings the juice. He brought it last night, stood up to Jimmy Butler. That was a game that maybe 2 seasons ago, maybe Jimmy Butler in a Miami Heat jersey is able to intimidate you and bully the officials into trotting to the free throw line 12, 13 times or whatever, as he always seems to do. And maybe you back down. And that didn't happen last night. And you're right. Anthony Black right now is, between he and Tristan da Silva, you have some serious depth at the top of that second unit. And then sometimes in the starting lineup when you have injuries to deal with that I'm getting greedy now. I'm counting on this from AB night in and night out.
It's time to get greedy. It's time to get greedy. I'm with you.
He's 21 years old. He won't be 22 until what? I think early in January.
Yep.
But the guy is putting it all together. And we've always known he's a good, sort of fill in the cracks type of player. He's able to defend multiple positions. Everything he does is quick, makes smart decisions with the ball, just kind of waiting for the jumper to click into place. But right now it's all clicking into place. And you can't keep the guy off the floor right now. So, and you saw that last night. He was on the floor in crunch time instead of Tristan because you had your other 4 kind of rolling at that point. So, it's coming together right now. That's a good win last night. And yeah, you were at home, and yeah, they were, game 5 of a 6-game road trip, but Steph was Steph last night. Draymond and Jimmy were Draymond and Jimmy last night, and it wasn't enough for the Warriors to mount a comeback. That was awesome.
Just a thrilling victory. And there's a lot of reasons, and we'll get to all of it. And we've got some great comments here. First of all, I got a question for you, Jake. You may not know this, but for example, we've got Luis Rosario on here, who I saw last night at the game. He's a great fan. Always great to talk to him. Will Dawson. But they've got these little crowns next to their name. So Luis Rosario, for example, crown number 1. And number 1 top fan. So is he the number 1 top fan for the Orlando Magic? Has he been crowned the number 1 fan? Is that the number 1 fan for this stream? I think it's
just the number 1 Dante fan.
I don't think so. Is it just for this stream? Is he the number 1? And do we have a ranking? Do we have rank and file for fans for this stream? I got to know the meaning of those crowns and how people get that.
It's definitely a question for Chrissy Birdsall. I have no idea how to get to the bottom of that.
Right.
But for me, Will Dawson's number 1 no matter what. So I give Will the crown.
Well, we're getting a lot of comments. Great win last night, no question about it. Jalen's effort, according to Will, was huge as well. And I think you have a lot of people. Tristan da Silva was big, but I think you have Steph doing Steph things, right? He has 22 points in the first half. You have Jimmy Butler finding a way to score when Steph is off the floor. He's frustrating people. He's getting to the free throw line. Magic take 20 free throws in the first half. But to me, I start with last night is the reason you go and get Desmond Bane. Is that not true? I mean, look at what he's done here the last 6 games. He's averaging 20 points a game the last 6. He gets you a season high 26 in Houston the game before. Last night he pours in 23, one of his best games at home. But it's also 5 assists. It's also 6 rebounds. This Magic team has won 7 of 10. They're creeping up again into the upper echelon of defensive teams in the NBA. We'll look at those numbers here momentarily. But the guy hits a big 3 last night. Terrific defensive plays. Makes the right pass. He's able to score off the dribble. This drive in the paint, get it in one hand and flip it in move that he's got is second to none. I mean, he's showing the whole repertoire, the whole arsenal. And in the absence of Paolo Banchero, it's huge, absolutely huge how he's carrying us here of late. But now we got to put it all together when Paolo comes back. But to me, I'm watching last night thinking this is every bit why you went out and got Desmond Bane.
Had 5 steals last night, 5 of our 14 steals. Turnovers were a huge key in that game. The Magic's ability, not just to turn Golden State over, but to get out and score points off of those turnovers. What were they? 18 for 21 Magic points. That's what we talked about when we talked about all offseason and training camp about playing with pace. It wasn't so much about getting up and running. It's just a matter of letting your defense help your offense out a little bit, getting out into early offense off of those turnovers and getting buckets. Desmond Bane is very good in the open floor, whether it be attacking the basket or spotting up for threes. The 3 ball is still, it's still coming. It was another 2 for 6 last night, but he's making them when they count, obviously.
Right.
And then you're right, like attacking the basket. You just trust him right now with the ball in his hands, whether it's dumping off to a big or spraying out, or I mean, he is so crafty. He uses his frame, as you mentioned, and doesn't even bring the thing in with 2 hands on his gather. He just is able to sort of flip it. I didn't realize that he had that element.
That's what I'm saying. That kind of
unfamiliar with that aspect.
I'm sure he did that to us many times in his 5 years in Memphis, but I don't remember that. I don't remember that move per se.
Absolutely. So it's clicking for sure offensively for him, and that's the thing. Like, you feel like you got a shot in these games, even without Paolo and Jalen on Sunday, because you just ask him to do a little bit more, right? On Sunday, he scored 26 points. It was his high in a Magic uniform. When you do have Jalen back out there, maybe the shots come down a little bit, but maybe the assist numbers are up. He's just so well-rounded offensively that he can fill whatever role you need him to fill. And it's not just one of those guys who it's like, okay, don't take many shots tonight, just sort of blend in. He's always filling a very important role, whether it be perimeter shooting to sort of ease things up for Franz or Paolo, or with the ball in his hands, creating more so. And that's what you were looking for when you brought him in, for sure.
You mentioned the 3-point shooting. He's 2 of 6 last night. The Magic are 8 for 32. I just want in my lifetime again to be in the top 15 in threes made in 3-point percentage per game. I just want that no matter who's in uniform. Can we have that? Can we have nice things from beyond the arc? That's what I want to have, and hopefully we're on our way. The most important thing is you've won 7 of 10, and you're not shooting the ball great as a team. I mean, that's remarkable. Then you're going to add Paolo Banchero into the mix. Next segment, I want to get into Anthony Black. I want to break it down. Had a chance to talk to AB last night and kind of want to share some of those comments. Tristan Da Silva playing terrific basketball, as we know. We got to touch on the points in the paint. We got to touch on I got some numbers of what this team looks like here in the last 10. But before we do, Jake, we're getting a lot of comments about Tyus Jones. And I think we need to give Tyus his flowers for last night because we need him. We need the guy. For us to get where we want to get, Tyus Jones has to be effective. And he was last night. You get 8 points from Tyus Jones. He was a perfect 3 of 3 from the floor. He knocked down a floater as well. So you get 15 minutes worth of work. He's a +1 on that side. He had 1 steal in his effort as well. And again, some of these comments coming in. Luis Rosario, first one to mention. Tyus last night was looking good. And they have Desmond Terry, who made some comments as well, and we appreciate that. But it was the point we made in Houston. If he had gone 7 consecutive games without a point, he came in last night with 20 points on the season, and he had 8 in that game last night, right? He had only made 2 threes on the entire year. The point we made was if you score 1 point in Houston, you win that game in Houston. Last night, the Magic win by 8. He scored 8 points. You go to overtime, or Steph Curry beat you at the buzzer. If Tyus Jones isn't looking to score, right? This is what we're talking about. He doesn't have to go out there and fill it up and get you 12 points. He has to be aggressive when his opportunity is there, and he took advantage of it last night, and I think that was huge. That's a big reason. If you can get that, if that can be his coming out party, then that's going to be huge for us.
Little Tyus calculus from you there. I like that.
There you go. You like that?
You use the word aggressive, and that's exactly what it was. Like with AB and Tristan having to fill bigger roles, somebody needs to fill a bigger role as far as the bench goes. And yeah, like you look at the scoring numbers, and they were rough for the first 14 games basically of Tyus' Magic career, but the assist numbers were what you expected. At the very least, he was organizing the second unit, wasn't turning the ball over. Defense never going to be a strong suit of his. But we just said you just got to pull, just be a little bit more aggressive. I don't care if you start 0 for 5. Like, we need you to space the floor, and we need you to be aggressive. And I guarantee that's what his coaches were telling him as well. And you knew, like, there's way too much track record for that to have continued. For him to shoot the ball as poorly as he had been. And last night it felt like he just stepped in and, results be damned. I'm gonna get a couple up and we're gonna see how it goes. And honestly, like that's what we need from him. And I think we do have the leeway if he's having an off night to still be able to win a game. Tyus Jones is going to be an important part of this thing moving forward. He doesn't have to play a massive role. He needs to organize the second unit, and he needs to knock down open threes, and he certainly was able to do that last night. And the relief that you felt from his teammates on the bench, from Jamal Mosley postgame, you could tell that it was right. It was riding on them as well. They know he's better than he started in a Magic uniform, and so hopefully he's able to turn the corner.
Are we getting last thing before the break? Are we getting our swag back? Do we have a little? Do we have a little chippiness in us when we need it? I mean, we were pushed to the brink by Draymond Green, by Jimmy Butler. It always feels good beating those guys. I hate to say it, but
I love beating Jimmy Butler more than just about anybody else. I don't care what uniform he's wearing. That guy fires me up.
You love when you come out on top against Jimmy Butler. There's no question. But they were trying. They were trying to go after Jalen Suggs. They were trying to get him going. Two things. I think until Mo Wagner comes back, and I see all the comments. Somebody mentioned, wait till we get Mo Wagner back, and there was Desmond Terry. You're right. With his rebounding and knocking down threes. We had him on the broadcast last night, by the way, when Anthony Black had his big dunk, and Mo Wagner went crazy, and he goes, I don't know how you guys don't curse on air when these things happen. I thought that was a great comment. But he brings the juice. He gives you a spark. Is Desmond Bane giving us a little edge? Do we have an edge now with him in there and some of these young guys, how they've developed?
I don't know if people saw it on Sunday in Houston, but they were in the middle of their starting warmups with all the cheerleaders in a circle at half court. And Desmond Bane went galloping right through the cheerleaders, right in the middle of their pomp and circumstance. And I was like, that dude's ready to play today.
Okay.
There is absolutely an element of some like veteran, established, not going to back down swagger that Desmond Bane brings. And look, we got Juicy J, Jalen Suggs back. He was out there. He's going to bring it, especially when we're at home. But you just think about the three-headed monster and what it could look like when Mo Wagner is in the middle with those two guys. And I don't know, it might be a street fight every night. It might be too much juice when you got all three of those guys. But that's a risk I'm willing to take. I can't wait to see Mo back out there.
And Chrissy Birdsall was on top of it. So the one next to Luis Rosario is because he was the first to comment, and then 2 is the second to comment, 3 is the third to comment. So it's not necessarily that they are your 3 biggest fans.
I don't like that.
They were the first to comment.
We need to change that.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll get on that. I don't think we have the juice to make that happen, but that's fine. We'll certainly work through that. And I love the names that are coming in. Unlikely Jellyfish was my best name. Of course, we love Luis Rosario and Will Dawson and Jay Curve when he's on here, Desmond Terry. But now we've got Unlikely Jellyfish. And do you like Drippy Ricky? Do you like Drippy Ricky for a name? No, you're not going with that?
No, I know what he's getting at, but Drippy, I don't think that's a great adjective.
You just don't like the adjective.
I get it, like, drip, brought to you by Michelob Ultra or whatever we do.
I get it, but also doesn't it have to rhyme? Like, aren't you kind of going for that? Like, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't rhyme. It doesn't rhyme. So So overall, it doesn't work because I kind of liked it, but I think you talked me off of it. So maybe we'll see if we can get that name changed by the end of our segment. More coming your way on Magic Insiders in just a moment. And I see the comments, and we have to do an extensive discussion about Anthony Black because I think he's starting to figure things out, Jake. I think he's starting to figure things out, and we are awfully scary as a team here in Central Florida if Anthony Black is starting to put things together, and we'll break that down when we return. Make this holiday season a slam dunk by registering your child for an Orlando Magic camp presented by Advent Health. With sessions in November and December, Orlando Magic holiday camps are a perfect blend of hoops, fun, and magic. It's the ultimate gift for fans ages 7 to 17. Both my daughters have done that. They love the camp. We swear by it. If you have the opportunity, sign your kids up. You won't regret it. Register your child today at OrlandoMagicCamps.com and score exclusive Magic swag, a full-sized Magic basketball, and a ticket to an upcoming Magic home game. More when we return. We'll have a look at Anthony Black, our points in the paint, how he won last night, and do we have an update from Drippy Ricky? We'll have all that for you when we return in a moment. And welcome back, everyone. It is Magic Insiders. We are presented by International Diamond Center. Dante Marchitelli, Jake Chapman. Great win for this Magic team last night. They take down the Warriors 121-113, and they do so behind 23 points from Desmond Bane. The Magic now improved to 8-7 on the season. You have the Los Angeles Clippers coming into the building here on Thursday, so that'll be tomorrow night. We'll have it for you at 6:30. And that'll be on 96.9 The Game. So 6:30 on 96.9 The Game and 6:30 on FanDuel Sports Network. So make sure you tune into that for the Magic and the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers are 4-10. They've lost 8 of 9. You can't let that one get away from you. It's the James Harden show, and everyone else is banged up, and we'll see what that looks like. So hopefully you can get your second straight win and get win number 9 on the season tomorrow against the Clippers. Jake, Anthony Black coming off a nice performance, 18 points in Houston. Last night he goes for 21. It's the second time this year he's gone for 20 points in a game. It's the 11th time in his NBA career. He had been averaging 15 points per game as a starter. The Magic were 2-1 in those 3 games that he started this year in the absence of Jalen Suggs. You get the great news that Jalen is able to go. Only 1 game he had to miss for that groin injury, so he's able to come back, and Jalen Suggs was terrific, too. He was scrappy as ever. I love how he didn't back down from anyone. 13 points. He had 8 assists in that game last night. Terrific defense, 5 rebounds. So Anthony Black gets moved back to the bench, but talked to him post-game. He played 33 minutes last night. He had some sensational finishes. Knocked down his first, I believe, 3 free throws first 4 free throws before he finally missed one in the game last night. But it feels like a youngster it's coming together for him. And he simply said, everyone has been telling me to be more aggressive. And when I'm more aggressive, looking to score, I feel like that helps the team. We're seeing it, Jake. We thought coming into the year that he was an X factor for the Magic, and we've seen it. When he plays well, this team typically wins.
Yeah, he's always going to bring it defensively. He can guard multiple positions. He's rangy. He can guard the ball. He can crawl into the ball. He's had a couple steals the last couple nights as well. But the last 2 games, 13 and 14 shots, and 8 of 13 on last night, 7 of 14 on Sunday. Like that's big man efficiency. Shooting the basketballs. He doesn't take bad shots generally. He's either taking an open shot that might be a little bit rushed because he does everything very, very quickly. And like the perimeter jumper, you're still waiting to kind of click into place. But he's just a really smart young basketball player. In the open floor, he's sort of found his own, I think, in the last week or so. Just getting out and flying to the rim and attacking with a bit more reckless abandon than he has. And it's like, the word aggressive kind of bugs me because you cannot turn on a sports broadcast in 2025 without hearing somebody say, "Oh, it's just more aggressive."
You're right. Okay,
it seems very simple.
I'll bring that up to him next time I see him. Then.
Okay,
you should choose a different phrase.
It's been a year
but
now.
I hear you. I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean.
It's been a year now that we've heard from the coaches and from Anthony Black that's what his teammates are asking him to do. That's true. That's right. And the reason I brought that up is just because it's not quite that simple. Like, he has to be smart still. He has to be Anthony Black aggressive. There are certain guys that you don't necessarily want to be aggressive. Be right. Offensively.
This is true.
We don't need to. For instance, if I were on the team, they would tell me, "Do not be aggressive, Jay.
No, be passive. Be passive.
Be very, very passive." And so with AB, I think it's a matter of like staying within himself, but getting downhill, getting into the teeth of the defense, collapsing the defense. especially within the half court. And he's been doing that a much better job at doing that. You always want to make sure the turnovers are low with AB. He's not a guy who dribbles the ball, the air out of the basketball. Everything goes within the flow of the offense. And right now is really clicking for him.
It is, and he's been exceptional. He's starting to figure things out here in year 3, and we're certainly excited about that. Lots of comments in here, and I want to go back to Drippy Ricky, and he asked if we would throw some love to orlando.magic.culture. So there you go, orlando.magic.culture. I don't know where that would be, but he wanted me to throw him some love. So there you go. So you guys do your thing and find that orlando.magic.culture. But there it is. But Janine Richmond was right. And Tyus Jones said at postgame, she loved hearing about the relationship between Anthony Black and Tyus. And listen, I think, as the comments continue to come in from Anthony, pouring in for Anthony Black, but it's not just him figuring it out. But another reason you have Tyus Jones here is that's a veteran that's kind of helping him along the way. And he's got Anthony Black's ear. And I think he's helping him. Tyus is exceptional at running a team and keeping us organized and getting guys the shots they need when. That's the next thing for Anthony Black. Anthony Black is as far as running an offense, distributing, getting guys set up. Right now, he's out there to score when he's aggressive, and we need that. We need that from him, and that's fine. The next step in the evolution process of being the point guard is kind of more of a facilitator, which he has the ability to do that, but he's got Tyus helping him. And that's another reason you're bringing a veteran like that to help Anthony through this season.
I think it's a great point. And then you just think about the second unit with the two of them kind of in the middle of it and what that can look like. While Tyus is sort of organizing and creating and finding the when of when to get guys going, that's the perfect complement for Anthony Black. He can learn sort of on the job. But the other part of that is going back to what we said about Tyus, shooting the three. Like if AB is going to be your attacker within the backcourt, then Tyus needs to be your spacer as well. So Tyus's role can literally be stand at the top of the key, swing it this way, and then step in and shoot it. And it's simplified, but that is like the perfect point guard to play next to Anthony Black as far as the second unit goes.
Got a comment here, and I'm going to try to find it. I can paraphrase, but I'd love to give the exact person credit. But they were asking what was the issue between Jalen Suggs and Jimmy Butler last night. And I think I know what your answer is going to be, and it's going to be very similar. Oh, here it is. It was from Drippy Ricky. So there you go. What was the problem? And I think it's similar to what you would think. It's Jimmy Butler doing Jimmy Butler things. And unfortunately, he got Jalen to take the bait a time or two. But the biggest thing you can do is the scoreboard, and the Magic won that basketball game. But that's what Jimmy does. He gets under your skin. You have him for a year maybe while he's happy, and then he wants to go to the next team, and then he doesn't like it there, and then he's got to find his joy. And I'm sure they're in Miami tonight. Now that's going to be very interesting, right? On a back-to-back, and we don't know if Steph Curry's going to play down there, but Jimmy Butler most assuredly will play. But that's kind of what you got there, and he loves getting under people's skin. And if you're a Magic fan, you love that you beat Jimmy Butler last night.
He loves getting under people's skin. Eventually he gets under the skin of the people he's playing with and playing for. And that we might have already turned that worm, because you're right. I don't know. It's one thing when you're winning at a high clip. Golden State is used to winning at a high clip. They know they can win at a high clip probably without him. So, when he's taking 11 shots a game and 7.5 free throws a game, and he's just kind of doing his thing, and some days he shows up, some days he doesn't. It's just selling coffee. Jimmy, don't you look in the mirror and be like, okay, you're making Draymond look like the voice of reason. Like, what are you doing? But no, that would involve looking in the mirror and having a face-to-face conversation with Jimmy Butler. That team, it's really interesting because they don't take losing lightly. They're fine. Like, they're going to be okay, but I don't think it's necessarily a championship contending team. And when things go sideways, they might go very, very sideways for that group. But you brought up a really good point, like taking the bait. Like at some point it became an act of desperation. At some point,
that's right.
We were the only ones with anything to lose, a 12-point lead, and Jimmy Butler was out there throwing everything against the wall. So you're right. Like cooler heads prevailing were really, really important in that game last night. You don't want to back down. You don't want to get punked. But the last thing you want to do is feed too much into it. Let him know it's working, and it always ends up in him marching to the free throw line. That guy. I use the word when I'm on the call. I hesitate to use the word unethical But the word unethical is how I described Jimmy Butler playing basketball last night, because he's just flailing himself.
Yes.
When
I know.
he's walking to the free throw line before the ball even hits the floor,
yes,
he just chucks the ball and then he just walks to the free throw. It absolutely drives me nuts. Play the game.
But that's another element to Desmond Bane, though, because Jimmy Butler is used to getting that contact. The defender goes flying, and they get called for the foul. Desmond Bane stood his ground. He stood his ground, and Jimmy Butler bounced backwards, and there was no foul that was called. Typically, you're not allowed in NBA history to touch Steph Curry or Jimmy Butler. Typically, you are not. That is part of the NBA bylaws. You can't touch them because it's going to be free throws.
Which the Steph thing I'm okay with.
That's
it's Steph. We got to protect him.
Steph has heard that. We got to protect our guy, but that's what we saw last night. So anyway, the Magic were able to overcome all that, no question. Do you like this from Prying A? Anthony Black asserted himself as good. Do you like that?
Yeah,
he's right. That's what you got to get that. You got to get that from Anthony Black. All right, Jake. I guess the last thing now, you got to find a way to keep this thing going, because if I'm a Magic fan, and this will be the last thing, and then we'll get ready for the Magic and the LA Clippers here tomorrow. But you're going to get Paolo back at some point. Hopefully, Jalen Suggs came through okay, and he's able to go. And you got James Harden, who's playing terrific basketball. And but that's it. They're banged up. You gotta continue to stick it to the Clippers. They're going to have 3 days off by the time they come in, so they'll be rested. And who knows if maybe they'll get a body back or not. The Knicks, ironically, are going to have 3 days off before they play us as well.
Lovely.
But at some point, you're going to get Paolo back. Hopefully, it's this week or next. We'll continue to play that day by day. You're going to get Mo Wagner back here at some point.
Yeah.
Your last 10 games, you're 7-3. You're 117 points per game, which is 16th best in the NBA. You're allowing 109.6 points per game. That is 4th best in the NBA. You have you're 6th in defensive rating. You're 13th in offensive rating. This thing, as you start working those pieces back in, guys continue to improve, roles continue to be established. Certain guys, unfortunately, will be out of the rotation once you start getting those guys back in. But now you're 6th in defensive rating the last 10, you're 13th. Can you eventually be top 10 in offensive rating, 5th or 6th in defensive rating, which is the ideal spot? Those are the true contenders. That's what you're talking about. When you get your full complement, are we heading in that direction, in that territory? We haven't seen top 10 in offensive rating since the 70s. It would be unbelievable to be back there here soon, Jake.
That was the CBA version of the Orlando Magic thing.
Orlando Muskies. That's what it is.
Orlando Muskies. But we got to print up shirts immediately for that.
Yes, we do.
It feels like we're trending in the right direction. Obviously, you just detailed it. And then, on top of all that, you've played, 3.5 games now without Paolo Banchero. And you closed out the New York game. You let one get away against Houston, but you won the other two. I think rebounding has been a big key over that stretch. I think you got sort of squared away on the glass. We should be a top 10 rebounding team no matter what. We should dominate some of these teams who want to play small against us. We've been doing that. You've been crashing the offensive glass. It feels like it's still a little hit or miss as far as free throws and turnovers go. Some nights you still, kick the ball around the gym a little bit. And that's going to happen now that we do play at a faster pace. There's going to be those 18 turnover nights that you just were able to avoid last year because you only had 85 possessions in a game or whatever. But, man, I'll tell you one thing that's been consistent is getting to the free throw line. That was a huge difference last night is you didn't leave 9 or 10 points at the stripe. What was it, like 22 for your first 22 or something like that?
Yes, and 20 for 20 in the first half. And then you only took 2 free throws in the third quarter. It's amazing how those things get evened out there.
That's so strange how those always seem to...
Once we see the box scores at halftime, it's amazing how those things correct themselves in the
really
second
weird.
half.
Maybe, yeah. And what's really weird is that I can't figure out what's happening on the call, and I'm still frustrated at
I know. I hear you.
It's starting to look really good, and you got to keep on pouring it on and improving, obviously, but you're seeing the vision of the change offensively, the change in philosophy. You're seeing the vision of what Desmond Bane is able to do. And right now you're playing really good basketball without your best player, and you're beating teams without your best player. And so, some of the things that I loved about what we saw from Paolo early on in the season, the playmaking and obviously figuring out and trusting his teammates and acting more like an offensive hub, but then the rebounding and defense, he was making strides on that end as well. So you get him back and hopefully it's like the cherry on top and you're able to really take off.
Yeah, get him back, and then at some point you're going to get Mo Wagner back, and that's what Patrick Nurse says. Can't wait to get Mo Wagner back, and that's going to be our call of the game, brought to you by Glip from Ring Central. Rethink the way you work with secure meetings and messaging on any device with Glip by Ring Central. Visit glip.com to learn more. The Magic win last night. You win too with Papa John's Pizza. Reminder, everyone, you're getting 50% off your regular menu price order today at papajohns.com, and use that promo code MAGICWIN. That is promo code Magic win. And they did in an impressive victory over the Golden State Warriors last night. Hopefully you can keep it going tomorrow against the Los Angeles Clippers. We'll have it for you at 6:30 on FanDuel Sports Network and 6:30 on the Magic Audio Network as well. Jake Chapman will be on the call. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll do this again next week, and we'll have Magic Insiders tomorrow at 6 o'clock on 96.9 The Game.